The last train of the night was about to arrive. The clock above platform number 7 showed 11 p.m. People rushed around, some to catch their trains, some searching for food, some simply existing in the chaos of the station. But the far left bench on the platform was strangely quiet. On that bench sat Arian, a 22-year-old boy with tired eyes, a worn-out backpack, and a heart full of shattered dreams. Earlier that day, the results of the engineering admission test had been published. He failed again. This was his third attempt. On social media, his friends were celebrating. Finally, got into my dream university. Admission success. Didn't react, didn't like, didn't comment. He just stared at the screen until his vision blurred. Suddenly, his phone vibrated. It was a voice message from his mother. "Baba, are you coming home? I kept your food warm. I am waiting." Arian didn't reply because he didn't know what to say. He wasn't ready to see disappointment in her eyes again. Beside Arian sat an old man, around 65 to 70 years old, wearing a faded shirt and lungi, a small towel around his neck, and cracked hands from years of labor. The man looked at him for a moment and spoke gently. "Son, why are your eyes wet? Heavy pain?" Arian looked away. Not everyone understands pain. The old man chuckled softly. "True, but sometimes you don't need to understand someone's pain to feel it. Some pains can be read directly from the eyes." Arian stayed silent. After a moment, the man spoke again. "I had dreams once too." That caught Arian's attention. "You had dreams?" "Yes," the man said, looking at the railway tracks. "I used to be first in my class. Everyone said I would become an engineer. My teachers believed I'd do something big in life. But poverty doesn't care about your talent. I enrolled in coaching, but mornings were for pulling rickshaws, nights for studying. My body gave up before my mind did. One day I quit, stopped studying. I told myself I'm not good enough." He smiled sadly. "And that lie became my life." Arian was speechless. The man continued. "Today, I'm still pulling rickshaws, but inside me, the engineer I once dreamed to become still exists, alive." Arian swallowed hard. "You still dream?" he asked. The old man smiled faintly. "If you stop dreaming, you die. I am not dead yet, just stuck behind wheels." Arian looked at his hands. All those nights he spent studying until dawn, all those exams, all those hopes. His father passed away when he was in 10th grade. His mother worked as a helper in a garment factory. Every morning she left before dawn, returning late at night, exhausted but smiling. She always said, "My son will succeed. I believe in him." And now he had failed again. "I don't think I can continue anymore," Arian whispered. "Maybe I'm just not capable." The old man stood up slowly and looked straight into his eyes. "Failing does not destroy people. Giving up does." Arian blinked. The man placed a hand on his head, like a father blessing his son. "If I had gone back to study again just once more, maybe today I wouldn't be riding a rickshaw at the age of 67. He leaned closer and said, "Poor people don't lose. Quitters lose." At that exact moment, the announcement echoed. "The last train is arriving on platform 7. The train's headlights pierced the darkness. Aryan stood up slowly, still unsure. The old man reached inside his pocket and pulled out 3 wrinkled 50 taka notes. The notes were old and folded many times. He pressed them into Aryan's hand. Take this. Go home. Start again. This is not charity. This is an investment. Aryan's voice shook. Why are you doing this? You don't even know me. And went home. His mother opened the door, worried and emotional. Where were you? You scared me. Aryan hugged her tightly. Ma, I'm not giving up. I will try again. She didn't respond. She just held him like he was 5 years old again. That night, Aryan sat at his desk. No fear, no doubt, just fire. The next 8 months were the hardest months of his life. He deleted social media. He studied 12 to 14 hours every day. He rewrote every chapter, solved every problem, made notes. Friends mocked him. Again? You'll fail again. You don't have the talent. But Arian didn't react. He learned something important that night on the bench. I fight my failure, not people's opinions. Because someone should achieve the dream I couldn't. He walked into the exam hall confidently. When he finished his paper, he knew this time he didn't survive the exam. He conquered it. Result day. Arian didn't dare to look at the phone. He gave the phone to his mother. She looked at the result and froze. Then she screamed, Arian, you got selected, Dhaka University of Engineering. Arian sat down. Tears rolled down his face. He didn't shout, he didn't celebrate. He simply whispered, I did it, Kaka. I did it. 3 years later, Arian was now the top student of his department, selected for an international research program, a scholarship winner. One evening, on his way home, he stopped at the same platform number 7. He looked for the old man. He searched every rickshaw puller, every corner. Finally, he asked one of them, Do you know a man, old, thin, always wearing a towel on his shoulder? The rickshaw puller replied, Oh, him. He passed away a few months ago. Motivation. Arian stood still. The world became silent. He sat on the same bench where they met. He took out a white envelope and placed it on the bench. Inside was a brand new rickshaw purchase receipt and a thank you letter. On the envelope, he wrote, You didn't invest in me. You invested in your own dream, and it succeeded. Arian looked up at the sky and whispered, Thank you. You taught me not to give up when life gets hard. The evening train passed slowly, its lights reflecting in his teary eyes. He closed his eyes and smiled, because somewhere, among all the stars, that old man's dream was finally shining. Moral of the story: you are not defined by the number of times you fail. You are defined by the number of times you stand back up. Failures don't end dreams. Giving up does.